Hello, YouTubers, Minecrafters, and peoples of the intertubes, and welcome back to our Wild West town here on our vanilla Minecraft survival series. My name is Tolbert, and I'm your host, and thanks for coming along. We're glad to have you. Well, in the last live stream, we went ahead and built this here blacksmith building. It's got a couple of anvils in here and the usual smelting system that we use with the chest where you put in the fuel and items that you need to be smelted and whatnot, and go ahead and lights up all the furnaces and puts everything in the output chest over here. And well, during that live stream we decided that instead of calling it the blacksmith, went ahead and changed that a little bit and just called it the smithy. Now, of course, looking at it now, I can see that the black of the lettering is kind of hard to see against the dark oak there, but we gotta stick with the dark oak because, well, blacksmith is covered in coal dust and blacksmith dust of all kinds of sorts, metal dust and whatnot, and so it keeps it kind of looking a little dark. And, well, I sit here thinking about this, that, well, with a blacksmith, they usually gotta come out and put horseshoes on the horses. So I figure this would be the best time to go ahead and throw in ourselves a little stable over here, right next to the blacksmith at the entrance to the town, the entrance to Beardwood. So let's go ahead and get that started. Let me throw in the basic framing, and we'll go ahead and get back to that. We'll be back in just 1 second. Alright, and so there's the basic frame that we're going to be working with here. We got each of these being five blocks between each of the posts, and 3 blocks between the posts in the middle. Now I had to go ahead and take the sign here for Beardwood and pull it back out a little bit. The stable was just a little bit too long or too wide, and we had to pull this back out to the entrance. And now what we're going to do, we are not going to put in a floor like these other areas, and we're not putting in this walkway. For one, horses don't need the walkway in order for where they're going to be at, and two, the floor, well, horses are not going to like a hard wooden floor. No, they're going to enjoy the soft grass floor out here. But we do need to put in some walls. And so for the walls, I think we're going to use some birch wood for this. So let's go ahead and hop on into the hardware store, grab ourselves some birch wood. Grab ourselves some extra just in case we need it. And well, I want each of these stalls, what they're going to have is around the outside, each stall is going to have a 1 wide open window. That is to say that they'll just have that little sliver there, just wide enough so that if the horse wants, it can stick its head out real quick, look around, and then put its head back in. That way it's not going to worry about it. All right. So in between each stall is going to be just a solid wall. And I forgot to do the cross beams on the top there. I'll take care of that in just 1 second, but it's just going to be solid. So that way the horses can't interact with each other. That way it just stays nice and peaceful. No worries about horses causing any kind of havoc. And of course, they're each only going to have the 1 window to look out of, so we're going to make that a solid wall as well. So let me go ahead and do that all the way around. Let me get these cross beams in, and then we'll go ahead and pick up from there. Okay, so there we go. We have all the walls filled in. I did make a slight adjustment that was to make this little bit of this walkway in the middle a little bit wider. Went 4 across instead of 3, and now all of the pens are internally 4 by 5. Give a little bit of extra room there. So I took this wall, brought it in, and I took out the middle here and just moved it over slightly. The reason for that is because I just remembered how wide a horse needs to get through. Just one fence gate is not enough for a horse to get through. It needs 2 fence gates. So that's what we're going to work on now. We're going to go ahead and put in some fence gates all throughout here and some fence lines of themselves. We're going to be using regular oak, that is. And every little corner here is going to get the 1 fence line. We're going to save 2 for the horse cages themselves. So we're going to do something around that kind of pattern. 1 on one side, 2 on the other, and we'll switch it up in the middle. That is, if this grass wouldn't get in the way. So we'll switch it off to 2 and 1. Just back and forth like that, real quick to get this done with. And then we're gonna go make a whole bunch of fence gates. Now just remember, this last area, we're not gonna need, well, I guess this one will, but this one we're not gonna need all of the fence gates, or all the fence posts at. This one is going to become a storage area, and I'll show why in just 1 second. But as for right now, let's go ahead and make ourselves a bunch of regular oak fence gates. The question is, do we have any in here already? And it does not look like it. But we do have lots of oak to work with. Let's go ahead and come on over here to our little crafting table, and let's say it's probably not in the list. Nope, there it is in the list for birch, but not for oak. Alright, so let's get ourselves some oak. Let's take that birch, actually. Let's take some of that and make ourselves some more sticks so we can get 33. We'll work with that. We probably won't need nearly that much, but let's see what we can do. So in the front here, and I forgot to put the fence line in here in the front. We're going to just do 1 and 1, and then 1 and, oh, that placed wrongly. Again, that grass getting in the way. 1 and 1. All right, there we go. And that's pretty much what we're going to do to all of these areas. It's just put in these fence gates right there. So that's going to be how the horses get in and out, is through the double fence gates. And I did not put a 2 over here. Alright, and like I said, this one is going to become a little storage area. And so if you need to, you can ride right through the thing. So if you're an evil bandit coming into town, you can just run right through if you need to and keep on going wherever you gotta go. Or you can actually stop and deposit your horse somewhere. Alright, but now that that's done, let me go get some oak stairs. Because that's one thing we're going to do on the inside, is that we're going to have a second story here. And that second story is going to be used for holding on to the supplies of, like, the bunch of hay and whatnot. So we'll start that right here. I'm going to need a little bit of help to get all of these going, so let me throw those blocks in there temporarily. We can just go right off the side of those to get this stairwell going all the way up like that. Alright, good. Now I can take all that out. We're actually going to replace that with the birch wood that we are already using here. We're just going to fill that little bit in real quick. And so like I said, since we're going to make this a storage area, we'll go ahead and throw a door in there right here. And then we'll switch out that floor as well. We'll actually make that I don't know. I guess a birch floor would work. Well, no, we're going to go ahead and go with oak. We already got birch going all the way around. Let's go ahead and make that oak. And so, let's see here. That is, if I can go ahead and place these without making mistakes. Okay, so there we go. We got our oak floor down. And we'll grab a door to throw in there in a minute. That's going to be storage area. And as I was saying, up here, we're going to make this an area where we put like extra hay and whatnot. So let me fill in the ceiling here, or the floor, depending on how you're looking at it. And we'll come back right after that's done. And so there we go. We have the floor slash ceiling put in for the next level up here. And now we're going to go ahead and do a couple of things here. Is that in the corner of each of these pens, we're going to take out this one block. The reason we're going to take out that one block is that since we're storing like all sorts of hay and things up here, when it comes time to feed said horses, we're just going to drop the hay right into those holes. So that way we don't have to worry about dragging it up and down and whatnot. We just drop it right down to them. They'll be all set like that. And so now it's time to go ahead and put a roof on this thing. Now, I know what you're probably saying out there. We haven't built up the second story walls. Well, we're not going to build up the second story walls. What we're going to do a bit of a roof up, then a flat top, and then roof down. Unlike all the other flat top roofs we've done out here, it's time to do something a little different for this little bit. So we're just going to run up here real quick, and what we're going to do, we'll do something like this. Start with that. Actually, that's not where we want to start that at. We want to be one more block out. We're going to have a little bit of an overhang right here. Okay, now this is where we're going to start at. But we're going to go back and forth like this till we get roughly till about the middle, where that log post is coming out at. So we're just going to go back and forth like this for a couple more blocks here, except that we just ran out of stair blocks. Let's see what we can do to resolve that. That's going to give us a little bit, hopefully enough to go ahead and continue. We're going to go, okay, it looks like one more. Or is one more too far? Nope, one more looks about right. So right to there, and then we're going to switch over some solid blocks here. Oh no, maybe that is too far. Let's see. Nope, okay, that lines up. Alright, like I said, we're going to switch over to solid blocks here. We know that that is 4 wide, so we can just go ahead and go 1, 2, 3, 4. That should be that. And so now let me do the other side. And also, I'll string all of this across on the inside as well. So let me do that and we'll be right back as soon as I get that done. So there we are, we have the roof done, but as you can see, after doing so, we've been having quite a few spawns happening inside this place. The things we're going to have to take care of here before we continue. Let's go ahead and eliminate these guys real quick. I know I saw you over there, Mr. Skeleton. What the? Out of nowhere. What? He jumped through the window. How dare he? Okay, so now let's go ahead and take a look inside here. Oh, we can hear more zombie types up there. guessing he's up here. Nope. Okay. Well, there's zombies. There is an underside to this. So they're out there. But let's do first thing first. Let's light this place up a little bit. Let's get some torches in here before things get a little bit out of hand. So let me go ahead and throw these around and whatnot, and we can sit here and say that, okay, we've done for the most part the inside of this place. There's only a couple more things for us to take care of, and one of those things is that up here, first things first, we're going to seal off this wall here. This we don't really need to be able to go outside this way. But actually, instead of fully sealing it off, we'll put in like a little window. Actually, we'll put in probably a nice big giant window, actually. Yeah, that ought to be nice for a window. Actually, let's split that just a little bit. Let's do that. 2 windows like that. There we go. Now on this side, the side going towards the main road here, what I want to do here is that every time I've seen a barn type stable place in every spaghetti western I've seen, it has always had like this crane that came out of it, used to bring materials up to the second story here. So we're going to go ahead and leave that nice big open area there as I fall down. So we're going to leave that nice big open area, and we're going to start putting a crane out here. Now I have a couple ideas of what to do, but first things first is that we know it's not going to be on center because we have an even number of blocks. So we're going to be coming off of this thing just a little bit. And I think it's going to be best for us to come out right there. And I'm not going to be able to get it from this side without adding a little bit more. So we're going to come out, I believe 3, maybe. Yeah, I think 3 should be good. Yep, we'll stop it there. And then we'll go ahead and get this thing built. What we're doing, I have a little example made on the side of the hardware store over here. My little practice at this is that we're going to make that little system. That's what we're going to do. It's going to be our little crane platform up there. So 9 slabs and a whole bunch of fence posts. So let me grab a couple of these and let me go ahead and get working on this over in that area. And so as soon as this is done, we'll be right back to show it off. Well, I think our crane up there turned out to be very nice. Ended up having to put that little hanging top part up one more layer just to make sure it looked quite right. Now we only have a couple more bits and bobs to finish up inside here. One of those things is we're going to need hay bales, as many as we can get. I traveled all the way back to the original spawn point to grab as many wheat as we can get out of there, because since we don't have any kind of farming out here as of yet. So we did kind of clear this out a little bit, and while I'm actually here thinking of this, first things first, let's go ahead and get ourselves the path coming in here. Now unfortunately we can't change those in the path blocks underneath, all because of the fence lines. So we'll have to go ahead and just continue with those inside here. And of course, this is going to run all the way back. All the way back to the other side here. We're going to have these running back a little bit as well. Just a nice little path that the horses come in at. And of course, they're going to run into the cages or into the stalls themselves. Unfortunately, we messed that one up. Let's just replant that real quick. Put that piece of dirt right back down. Let it grow the grass back. And of course, we're gonna come in here and do a little bit there as well, just like where the horse would be laying down at. And I'll get around to doing that to all of these stables here. But let's go ahead and let's give each horse a bit of hay to go ahead and munch on. We'll just throw the hay in miscellaneous places here. Alright, did not like the fact that the fence line connected there, so let's go ahead and move that one over a little bit. And like I said, we'll give each of these a hay bale of some sort in some place. And then also on top of that, we're gonna head upstairs here to where the little elevator platform is. And well, that's mainly what's going to be used for, is bring hay up here. So let's go ahead and throw a couple bales here. All that good. And that's going to be a good spot for whatever bandit is up here. It's a good spot for him to hide and do his shooting down the way. But of course, also we're going to need a couple hay bales up here, because this is what it's used for. And of course, put one right next to a torch, probably a bad idea, but that's all right. Now, one last little thing, every time I've seen a spaghetti western where they've been fighting in the top of a stable area and whatnot, where they have things like this, there's always been a fence line for them to break and fall down to the bottom with. So let's go ahead and put in a fence line up here. One, for safety. Can't be too safe, and two, for if there ever is a fight up here, they can just fall right through it if they need to. And well, we ran out of fence lines, but I think that's going to be good enough. So there we go. We have our stables pretty much completely done. I just got a couple more things to do as far as filling out path blocks and whatnot. Overall, I think we did a wonderful job. So I'm going to say thanks to everybody for coming along. Hope you enjoyed the video. Glad to see you, and our Wild West town is coming along nicely. Stables doesn't need a sign, as I'm pretty sure everybody knows what it is. Oh, but before we actually go away, let's do this. Let's come over here and grab our one-horse trigger. I'll go ahead and throw my armor back on for this since my inventory is a little bit full. There we go. All right, let's go ahead, hop on trigger. Let's get our bow and arrow ready. Let's come on and cruise on out of town real quick. Let's turn around so we can go ahead and see it coming on in. Right into the stable, right into the first pen. First stable there. First stall there. And go ahead and say good boy, trigger. All right. So that's going to do it for us this time. Again, I hope you all enjoyed the video, had a wonderful time. Thanks for coming along on the Wild West town out here. We're glad to have you, and we continue to expand our town here. And as for me, right now it's time to go update to 1.13. So we'll see you back here next time.